If you have a basic mountain bike or a current bike with a worn out drivetrain, you do not need to spend a fortune to upgrade the drivetrain to get better performance and better usability. That's what we're going to show you today. Using a mix of box component parts and a few others, we're going to take a standard MTB 3x9 drivetrain, upgrade it to a newer 1x9 wide range drivetrain, show you the performance gains you're going to get and how to do it without breaking the bank. Today on This bike belongs to Josh down here at Iron City Bikes, and like true bike shop employee fashion, he's taken a bike and has started upgrading it far beyond its original purchase price. We're running a Chris King rear hub. We got Maxxis Torch tires, WTB rims, carbon whiskey bars, but he still has this original OEM 3x9 drivetrain. You can see the size of the cassette, basic 11 to 32. That's what we're going to get rid of. We're going to be putting on these box components. Alright, let's get a close up and let's see what these are all about. Okay, starting at the handlebars, here is the box one shifter pod. You can see here the little E on there. That designates that this one is originally designed for e-bikes, but it doesn't mean that it's only for e-bikes and you can't use it on a regular bike. The only difference between the standard mountain bike shifter and this one is how many gears you can dump in one throw. Meaning the e-bike, to protect drivetrains, wheels, spokes from the extra torque from a mid-drive, they only allow one shift at a time per lever. Whereas the standard mountain bike version, I believe you can dump 3 to 4 gears at a time. But Josh said he didn't want that. He likes the idea of the single shift. He only uses this mostly in an urban environment. Doesn't really do much actual mountain biking with it. So the single shift is going to be just fine for him. Alright, at the other end of the cable from the shifter is the derailleur. This is the box one derailleur. What you get is you get an adjustable clutch, and this can help with chain retention and trail noise by not letting the chain slap around. And with the box one derailleur, you get sealed bearing pulleys. These are not bushings. These are nice sealed bearings. Just have to wipe them off every once in a while, and these should spin friction free and pretty true for quite a long time. This is the extra wide, and I'll show you why we went with that one next. This cassette is the 9-speed Sunrace 11 to 50 tooth cassette. Very wide range. You can see. Why didn't we go with the box components? Well, at the time he ordered these, it just wasn't available yet, and that's okay. We know from using these in the past, these are really good quality. They have a kind of a starter holder where the top 8 or top 7 sprockets are pinned to it. And this is going to work out very well for him. Very durable, all steel construction. Linking everything together is just going to be a standard box 2 chain. Box says to not use other 9-speed chains with their system. Stick with a box chain. They have slightly different dimensions on the outer plates, which play into the shifting capabilities and the smoothness. I'm not really going to focus on what we're using for the front crankset to convert to the single chain ring, and that is, as we mentioned before, in bike shop fashion. He's going a little overboard with that upgrade. It's probably not going to be part of the average user's standard budget upgrade, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Alright, next up we have the dirty part. Stripping off all the old OEM drivetrain parts covered in grease, road dirt, what have you. Let's get these off. Let's get these on the scale. Let's see how much weight we're going to save. Okay, here's everything that is coming off. Cassette, rear derailleur, front derailleur, front shifter, rear shifter, and the chain. Let's see what the total weight is. this is what we have going back on. Wide ratio cassette, chain, derailleur, shifter, and cable. £3 1 ounce, 1.4 kilograms. So that's actually surprising to me because I figured this setup would be a little bit lighter. That may have to do with the fact that we're using the Sunrace cassette and not the actual box cassette, which I believe has the larger cogs, or the larger chain rings are aluminum, not steel. This one is a 100% steel cassette. But let's keep going forward. Let's see what's going to happen. Out with the old, in with the new. Box 1, Sunrace, race face next. So this is why I didn't add in the cranks to our overall comparison of just the drivetrain parts. We're taking off this old Shimano square taper, riveted 3-ring front. We're going with a pair of race face next carbon cranks single. Obviously it's going to be lighter, but keep in mind if you were upgrading your own system and using either a standard mountain bike crank, or if you did have the capability of changing out your chain rings, you would be taking off these 3 steel chain rings and replacing them with a single narrow wide aluminum, which would have some good weight savings right there. So even though the rest of the drivetrain didn't save the weight that we thought it was going to, there still will be some overall drivetrain weight, and there's still going to be a lot less clutter. All right, let's get this finished up and we'll see what it looks like. All right, here's the final product. Single front chain ring, running a narrow wide design. 1x9 wide ratio rear. That is an 11 to 50 tooth to run it through the gears. The install is just about finished. I just got to take the bike down, put the grips on, adjust everything. I'm going to hand it over to Josh. He's going to give it the final QC because it's his bike. He's going to check it over, maybe take it for a test ride. We'll see what he says. I don't know if we have time right now. Let's get her finished up. Here is one of the big benefits of running a one-by system. The left side of your bar is nice and open. You got the shifter and the brake on the right side. Just the brake on the left side. This gives you all the room you want. If you're running a dropper post, usually run the lever on the left side. But a nice clean cockpit cuts down on the amount of cables running on the bike. Just a cleaner, simpler look. Right now, pedaling up 39th Street in Lawrenceville. For those that don't know, it's a pretty decent sized hill. Just keeps going up and up. This the wide range of this kit I mean, I'm pedaling, but I'm not really working that hard. This extra wide range, it's giving me plenty to easily pedal up the hill. And then on the flats, I got plenty of gear. So I don't think these one-bys, as long as you get the right ratio, are just for mountain bikes anymore. Matter of fact, we're going to see a similar setup on a gravel bike coming up soon. And if you've gone one-by on your bike, let us know down in the comments. Let's talk about your setup. And we'll check back with Josh later for a long-term review. Until then, that's all for now. We'll see you out there.